Hey everyone, and welcome. So today we're looking into the future. If you're trying to figure out how to build a tech career that lasts, one that's not just safe, but actually thriving in 2026, you are in the right place. We are going to break down the 5 specific job areas that are set to completely dominate the industry, and we'll give you a real practical playbook for how to land one. You hear this all the time, right? It feels like every day the warnings just get a little bit louder. This idea, this anxiety that AI is coming for all of our jobs. And look, it's a real fear, for sure. It creates a ton of uncertainty. But let's just cut through the hype for a second, because the actual data, the trends we're seeing, they tell a completely different story. This whole idea that jobs are just going to vanish into thin air because of AI, well, it's just not the whole picture. And this, right here, is the key. This is the one thing you need to get. The jobs aren't going away. They are changing. They're evolving at a pace we've never seen before. And the people who are gonna win, the ones who will succeed, are the ones who see this evolution not as a threat, but as a massive, massive opportunity. Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll start by pinpointing those 5 dominant roles for 2026. Then, we'll talk about the essential skills you absolutely need. After that, how to build a portfolio that actually gets you noticed, how to crush the interview, and finally, the big one, how to take control of your career for the long haul. All right, first things first, if you want to stay ahead of the curve, you have to understand this new world we're in. It's not about trying to beat automation. It's about aiming for the jobs that work with it. And here they are. These are the 5 big ones. You've got your AI and machine learning engineers, they're literally building the brains of the future. Then data scientists, who turn messy data into smart business decisions. Cloud architects are the ones building the massive digital infrastructure that everything runs on. Cybersecurity analysts, well, they're defending it all. And then there's the AI integrated developer, which is the new breed of web developer, creating those super smart apps we're all starting to use. So let's get practical. Let's talk about the skills you actually need to build. Because to even have a shot at any of these roles, you've got to start with a rock-solid foundation of technical skills that, believe it or not, are pretty universal. Okay, now check this out. This stat tells a really interesting story. For just one of those roles, the AI integrated developer, a whopping 80% of companies require JavaScript. It just goes to show how some skills really do become the bedrock of the industry. But for the 5 roles we're targeting, the foundation you need is actually a little bit broader. So this is where you need to focus your energy first. Think of it like this. Python is the common language for AI and data science. SQL is how you talk to data, period. You have to understand at least one of the big cloud platforms, AWS, Azure, or GCP. It's totally non-negotiable now. And yeah, that core web tech still matters for building anything that people actually see and use. But let me give you a quick, critical word of warning. Tools like GitHub Copilot are amazing. They're like having a super smart assistant, but they are not a replacement for actually understanding what's going on. Take this story about Wailing. She used AI to write her code, but when the interviewer asked her to explain it, she froze. She couldn't do it, and she lost the job. So remember, AI is your co-pilot. It's not the pilot. Okay, so you're building the skills. That's awesome. But just knowing stuff isn't enough, right? Now you have to prove you can use those skills to create something real, something valuable. And that's where your portfolio comes in. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. This is the modern tech hiring mindset in a nutshell. They don't really care where you learned your skills. What they care about is, can you deliver? Can you actually build the thing? Can you ship a finished product? That's the whole game. I know this can feel like a lot, so here's a blueprint you can adapt. In those first few months, you're just mastering a core language. Then you start applying it with key frameworks. Maybe for you, that's getting an AWS certification, or for someone else, it's building their first machine learning model. The pattern is always the same. Learn the fundamentals, then apply them, then build something complex. And let's be super clear about this. Your GitHub profile is your resume now, and you've got to make your projects count. Don't just build another to-do list app. Look at what Neural did. She built an AI app to analyze customer feedback for a local company. Recruiters went crazy for it because it was relevant, it was modern, and it solved a real problem. All right, you've got the skills, you've got the portfolio, you are getting noticed. Now comes the final boss, the interview. Let's talk about how to get you through that door. Tech interviews can feel like this big, scary, mysterious thing, but honestly, they follow a pretty standard script. This chart here basically gives you the whole map. Just take a look at the stages. It goes from that first call with a recruiter all the way to the final design challenge.
Seeing the whole journey is the first step to not being intimidated by it. But really, we can boil it all down to these three main stages. First, there's the initial screening. That's just a vibe check, making sure you're a basic fit. Then comes the technical screen. This is where you prove you have the chops. And finally, the on-site, which is usually a series of deeper interviews about your technical skills and how you work with a team. So you did it. You landed the job. That's a huge deal, but that's just the starting line, you know? It's not the end. Now we need to shift our thinking from just getting a job to building a long, successful, and actually fulfilling career.
And to do that, you have to start asking yourself some bigger questions. And probably the most important one is this one right here. Where do you actually fit in the business? Understanding this is everything. It's the key to your strategic value.
Think about it this way. An AI team that makes the company's ads more effective, that's a profit center. It directly makes money. A cybersecurity team, absolutely essential, but it's often viewed as a cost center. Knowing which one you're in can totally change your career path and how you talk about your accomplishments. So what do? Ultimately, you have to be the one driving your career forward. You can't just sit back and wait for your manager to have a brilliant idea for you. You have to tell people what you want to work on. You have to share the cool stuff you're doing, and you have to actively ask for feedback so you can get better. You gotta be proactive. And really, this says it all, doesn't it? Your manager, your team, they're all busy with their own stuff. You have to be your own #1 fan, your own biggest advocate, because at the end of the day, you're the one in the driver's seat. So let's end with this. The specific tools we're talking about today, the hot programming language, the popular cloud service, they're going to be old news by 2030. They will. The only thing that truly makes your career future-proof is your mindset. So the real question isn't just about what you can learn for 2026, it's about whether you're ready to keep learning forever, for whatever comes next.